Hello everyone, my name is Vikas Chauhan from Aware Immigration Inc. and today I bring to you an important update on Canadian immigration which is going to impact over 70% of temporary residents in Canada. So in this video, I will cover what exactly are these updates, how can they impact you, why did they come into being, and how can you be prepared for these updates. Subscribe and turn on your notifications bell icon so that you can stay ahead of all the important updates and changes that come across from Aware Immigration Inc. So these important policy changes will get into effect on the 21st of January 2025. And this includes primarily the family open work permits, which is either the spousal open work permit or the dependent open work permit. Now, if you talk about the students who have graduated and who currently are getting into postgraduate work permit, only the spousal open work permit for those students who are studying in master's or doctoral program or some exceptions including pilot programs would be issued a spousal open work permit. Now, the master programs have to be at least 16 months or longer for them to be eligible for a spousal open work permit. The eligible pilot programs include the Francophone Mobility Program, which is outside of Quebec, and project within Quebec itself. The other programs that you may qualify for include programs in healthcare, in medicine, nursing, science, and education. In addition, the foreign worker must also have at least 16 months of eligible work permit for them to be eligible to get a spousal open work permit. Now, the dependent children or the foreign workers will no longer be eligible for this program to get an open work permit under the family class. For the people who are already studying right now and they need to extend their program either due to completion or because they need to extend their study permit for some other reason, and the dependent spouses also have to extend their work permit. At that point in time, they would be eligible to extend, provided that they meet these conditions as per the current rules and policies. So these policies will come into effect on 21st of January 2025. So if your applications are currently being reviewed, so make sure that you're able to apply before these deadlines so that you're exempt from these changes which are going to come, especially for your spousal open work permits. So those people are not impacted if you already have an eligible work permit and your spouse also has an eligible open work permit. So they are not impacted with these policy changes. And also the people who are spouses of applicants who are eligible under free trade agreements would not be impacted with these kind of changes. Now let us also look at why are these changes being put into place. Now, earlier in the year 2024, the Minister, Honorable Mark Miller, had actually indicated that they would be reducing the number of temporary residents from 6.5% to 5%. So what exactly is a temporary residence? Temporary residents are those people who are currently living inside Canada or who intend to come to Canada for a temporary stay. That is, it could be a duration of a single day to around 5 years for a super visa category. That means the people who are going to come to Canada as temporary residents would be coming for a short stay and they would be going back to their home countries after the purpose of the visit is complete. Now, who all come under this temporary residence? We have visitors, we have students, and we have workers. And we also have certain refugee claimants who could also be forming the part of temporary residence. So let's look at the current policy changes. Now, if you talk about visitors, the first temporary resident category, now the visitor visas will be tied to the length of the purpose. That means if you require only short stays, you'll get a shorter validity of the visa and the blanket 10-year approvals are no longer in place. This also means that certain nationalities have now become visa required, specifically Mexicans, There are many changes which has come to the next temporary resident category, which is students. So now students are also another category which are being impacted by these policy changes. First, the number of students coming to Canada has been limited. This has been done by closing certain fast-track programs like Student Direct Stream or the Nigerian Student Express. The second, which was done way back in 2023, increasing the financial threshold of eligibility of a student by increasing the GIC amount requirement from $10,000 to around $21,000. This also has been done by capping the number of students who can come into the country by enforcing a provincial attestation letter, which is essential for any student to get a student permit or a study visa for Canada. When the person comes to the country, there are certain more restrictions which have now been put into place, which includes changing the conditions while in Canada. That means changing either the course, changing the DLI, or changing the duration of the program. All these three things now require approval from IRCC. Along with that, the incentive for students to come into undergraduate courses just after grade 12 has been reduced by removing the postgraduate work permit eligibility from the students who are coming in recently for the undergrad programs. Now, this also has been impacted by removing the spousal open work permit eligibility for students who are for undergraduate programs. So more compliances are being asked from DNIs. That means they are being asked to report on student absences, attendance, and any issues with their student status. The students are also being asked about their missed classes or missed grades or non-compliance with study period or status as a student while they were in Canada. We are seeing more instances of students who are getting letters asking for clarifications and requesting more information from IRCC about the periods in which they were absent or they were not studying as students. We have also seen increased revocation of permanent residence based upon misrepresentation that they actually had a fraudulent offer letter from a fictitious DLI or those kind of frauds which made them eligible to become permanent resident or to come to Canada. So more scrutiny is going into the entire processing of not only temporary resident but also permanent residents. There are more changes which are coming on workers. Now, on the employer side, if you look at it, the LMIA is now tied to approval, which is based upon the unemployment percentage of that particular area. Not only that, the cap of temporary foreign workers is now being reduced to only 10%, which was earlier at 20%. Also, the eligibility of the LMIA is now being reduced from earlier 12 months to 6 months right now. Now, this also means that the eligibility of people who are getting into postgraduate work permits, which are LMI exempt work permits, has been impacted and are being challenged in the sense that the postgraduate work permit holders who have recently graduated now again need to do an English language assessment. And for a person who is applying for a postgraduate work permit at an undergraduate level would have to apply with a language assessment which is at least CLB 5. And for people who are graduated from a master's or a doctorate level or postgraduate studies, they would be required to provide a CLB score of 7 to be eligible to getting a work permit. Although these are not Herculean tasks, but they are being made to ensure that the entire immigration system has been properly validated. The entire immigration system is impeccable and is able to get people not only as a temporary resident but also as permanent resident. The eligibility of postgraduate work permits had been reduced to the programs in the sense that now undergraduates would not be eligible for a work permit after graduate, and only select master's program which are 16 months or longer or select pilot programs would be eligible for a postgraduate work permit upon the student graduating from these programs. This also comes along with the decision to reduce the spousal open work permits of those spouses who are the spouses of the postgraduate work permit holder class. One more thing that they also did recently was removal of flag polling. First, the flag polling was removed for the students for application of postgraduate work permit, and now in December, the flag polling for all kind of work visa related applications has been stopped, barring a few exceptions. So there are a lot of changes which have happened in the past couple of months, in the last year. So I'm excited to announce that in the coming few days, I'll be releasing a report on the policy changes which have happened since 2023 and in 2024 and are currently in vogue in the year 2025 also. Not only the policy changes, but how they can impact a person who is either a temporary resident, a permanent resident, a refugee claimant, or a citizen. These are important details, and I'm very happy that we would be able to have these for our listeners, for people who are subscribing to us. So don't miss these critical insights. Make sure that you like and subscribe our channel and that you turn on the notification so that you stay updated. So if you have any questions or any queries, you can reach out to us on a discovery call, which will be free to those people who are listening to us. The code will be shared in the description. So go to the description and you can see the way in which you can book your free initial consultation. And we are here to help. So let's work together to make your Canadian dream a reality. We at Aware Immigration Inc. are here to help you find the best Canadian immigration solution for you and your loved ones. Thank you so much for watching. And if you like this video, give it a thumbs up and share it with all the people that you think would be benefited by this video. Leave your questions in the comments and I will try to respond to them as much as possible. Thank you so much. Looking forward to assisting you on a Canadian dream. Vikas, Chauhan, Aware Immigration Inc. Thank you.